My name is Morgan Reedr. I'm a fifth generation farmer here in northern Utah. I farm 560 acres, that's flood irrigated acres. Before installing the automation, we have dirt ditches and we use siphon tubes. 3 streams of water in our system is about all one man can do. Checking water when it's down and then changing, moving the siphon tubes. I used to have teenage boys and they would help me irrigate, but they've all grown up and moved away now. And so labor has become an issue. My time commitment with the flood irrigation before the automation, pretty hard to get away from the farm. You would figure out how to get away for an hour or two here or there to go to church, to run home and do something with the family for a little bit, but it's pretty hard to get away from the farm. The SAE valves have made it a lot easier to manage the water. I don't have to keep up those ditches anymore. The pipe is always full of water. I can start a stream instead of taking an hour to 2 hours to start a stream of water. It's nearly instantaneous. Turn on the head gate, turn on a valve, and the water's going. Also, having the SAE automation makes it so that I can get away a little more and I can sleep more at night. With the flood irrigation with siphon tubes, I used to get up every 3 or 4 hours at night. The automation can take care of it pretty much all night. And I can sleep at night, and then I can wake up in the morning and check on things, make little adjustments, and then let it run for the day again. Before the automation, irrigating with siphon tubes, I'd usually only get 3 or 4 hours of sleep at a time. But with the automation, I'm able to get 6 or 7 hours. And it makes it easier to get the hay baled too. The automation can take care of the water while I do other things. Getting more sleep has changed my quality of life. Before, after 2 or 3 hard nights of irrigating, I could start to tell that my mind wasn't working as clearly. Getting more sleep, I feel like I'm able to make better decisions. She's thinking I'm not as grumpy.
Yeah, he's not as grumpy as he was.
The wives have to be sold on this thing too. Having the automation really improves family life too, because I can get away for a few hours here and there and be able to do other things with my wife and with the kids. And Sundays are a lot easier. I can go with them and go visit grandparents. If I have to change the water, I can do it from my phone, sitting on Grandma Reedr's couch. My mom has made some comments that my dad would be turning in his grave to know that I can change the water from her living room couch. My daily routine with irrigating now, I still get up first thing in the morning with the automation and go and check things over, make sure the water is running in the right place, make sure the dikes are holding okay, how far the water is progressing down the field, see if I need to make some adjustments to my schedules. But it's a lot shorter, it doesn't take me as much time as it used to before, and it's less physical labor and more just buzzing around on the motorcycle and seeing how everything is doing.
Still requires you to have to still think about it and have things planned out, but it's a lot simpler physically.
You know, I can make adjustments while I'm standing there in the field using my phone. Another really nice thing about the automation is I can be running a tractor and make adjustments to schedules. Or I'll check up on the system and see that it has changed the water. If I want to check that stream specifically, I don't have to leave right at that minute. I can finish what I'm doing and then go check how the water's doing rather than having to be Johnny on the spot and being right there at exactly the right time. It is possible if you install automated head gates and if you have the end of field sensors to totally automate the whole thing. From the kitchen table in the morning, get on the iPad and kind of check the system over and just start a schedule, and the schedule can totally take care of itself. It can open the head gate, it can open the valves, the end of field sensors can change the water when it needs to be changed, and then close the head gate when it's all done.
Since having it in though, I find it to be a blessing because it's made it a lot easier for everybody to irrigate. We're not getting younger. Being able to just push a button and open it up and have everything moving is a lot nicer.
We have noticed since installing the system, our productivity has at least stayed the same, possibly got a little bit better. I'm still experimenting with ways to reduce water use. So far, I have found that I have reduced water use by about 10% from what I was doing before. I was really managing it really tightly before. If you can make that water go across the field more evenly, then that's going to improve your productivity and your yields too. We have noticed by switching from the dirt ditches to the pipe, that saves a lot of water because the pipe is just full of water all the time. Where we used to have a lot of places when you would start the water on a field, you would turn on the head gate at the canal and it would take an hour for the water to get down to the end of that ditch and to fill it up before it was ready to start the siphon tubes. And now it's nearly instantaneous. In fact, I have to open the valve in the field first and then go turn on the head gate on the canal because the water is just right there and it starts running immediately. Some of the ways that having the automation has affected my personal life is it's not so physically strenuous. It allows me to get away from the farm a little longer. I think this past year is the first year that I've really talked about going on a vacation for a little bit for several years.
It's kind of a funny thought to be able to think about that we could go on a vacation and how that would look.
I can foresee as I become more comfortable with the system and able to use it better, time opening up for me, being able to even leave the farm for a day or two rather than just an hour or two here and there. I think one of the most surprising things that I noticed was using surge on the automated system. If I start a field late in the evening, the system can totally take care of the water and I don't have to worry about a thing. It goes clear across the field, half hour per dike, and then it'll come back and start at the beginning again and it'll run each dike for an hour and I don't even have to worry about it getting to the bottom for at least 12 hours. I really try to do that. I really try to schedule. I try to start a field kind of in the evening, late in the evening, and then I don't have to worry about it at all. I had been waiting for automation for years. When I decided to put this field into pipe, I spent a little extra money to buy a valve that I felt like I could mount a motor to. At the time, there wasn't anybody doing automation, so I kind of thought that I would have to invent it for myself, but I was really grateful that SAE came along and they were able to automate it for me. If I had a neighbor who was considering installing automation, I would highly encourage you to try it. It introduces possibilities that you've probably never even thought of. That's what I found on my farm. Every farm is different and everybody's got to figure out how to do it for themselves, but this automation opens great possibilities. I would recommend the SAE irrigation automation to other farmers because the company has been very responsive to make sure that everything is working okay. They update their software and their hardware to make it work better. They make sure that everything is working right. And they're always asking me for new ideas of how they could improve it. Another thing too is the parts that they use in these valves to me appear to be robust and long-lasting parts. I think we'll get a lot of years of service out of them. I can't imagine going back to the way I used to do things before. I'd have to hire 2 more people to do what I do now by myself. And I would still be working at it 24/7 too. I can't imagine going back to farming the way I did before installing the SAE automation.